everything changes.
Length and girth?
Length and girth. Turns out size matters, Luke. Who would have thought?
Hello everyone and welcome to The Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you on board. And if you're an existing listener and follower of the show, welcome back. It's bloody good to have you back and rip in for another episode. I'm Luke McCredden and with me as always, although in a different state of affairs at the moment, is my good friend Adam Ring. Adam, are you okay?
It's been a long week, Luke.
What's going on? I just... thank you for showing up.
It's been a massive week. And now, a little bit of backstory just so we can all get on the same page with what's been going on. So, about 8 years ago, Luke, I retired from all things sport, and my sport of choice was basketball, and it has been since I was 6 years old. And a partially torn Achilles put an end to everything. Anyway, fast forward to present day. There's two things left that I wanted to achieve as a basketballer before I hung them up for good. And I wanted to play a game with my nephew, who's 14. And I want to play either a basketball, or it'll be a netball game with my oldest daughter, who's a netballer. I just needed to strike off two things.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to play basketball with my nephew 2 weeks ago. Oh, nearly 3 weeks ago now. So I came out of retirement, Luke. I put the basketball shoes back on. I laced them up, got out there, had a run around. It wasn't pretty, but I survived.
Good.
So last Tuesday, I went back for game 2. And about 3 minutes into the second half, my right hamstring decided to retire.
Oh, Jesus.
It just didn't tell me. And it left the building well before I did.
Oh no.
And I am now exactly 7 days in, and I've only just started to be able to stand up straight.
Wow. Hey, hats off to you for showing up. I mean, you know, you could have easily just called it for a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat. And it's only because I can't go any further back, because if anything still rests on it, it's no good.
What have you learnt this week, Adam?
I learned I'm too old for this shit, Luke. And when it comes to basketball, I've officially retired for a second time.
Yeah, nice. Well, I thought...
And not only have I hung the boots up, I've burnt them. They're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, good. No, it's a good move. It's a good move. Well, you know, I thought, given that you're a bit, you're a bit held back this week, I thought, hey, let me take the reins and let me explain what the deep drop is for everyone out there who might need to know. This is typically something you do, Adam. And I thought, you know what? I want to lighten the load from Ads this week. He's got enough on his plate. And I thought, well, let's keep it relevant. Adam, the deep drop's like painkillers.
I'm very familiar.
Sometimes you're not feeling it. You're a bit hurt and you're in a bit of agony. And you pop on the deep drop and everything's okay. And sometimes you're listening and you're well into it and you start getting that sort of feeling of what's going on. My head's spinning a little bit, or I'm feeling rather nauseous and high. That's because we just waffle into some random conversations, Ads. Those feelings on painkillers is very much like the deep drop. How's that?
You've nailed it, because I've lived on painkillers for the last week. So I've ended up with a grade 2 hamstring tear. It's very slowly getting better. And I've been popping painkillers like Skittles.
So you're very familiar with
spot on.
Relevance of the deep drop and painkillers.
It's spot on.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it. And if this is your first time having the deep drop painkiller, enjoy. Sit back and relax. And if you're a regular, we're up to episode 134 now. You might want to go and see a doctor because you've probably had too many.
Indeed.
And to you, Adam, thank you for showing up. This is a treat. I'm sure you're in pain, but we're going to rip in. Sorry, I shouldn't say rip. That's a bit too soon.
Too soon.
But if you are playing along at home and you haven't checked out the socials, the Deep Drop on Instagram, Adam, TikTok, and of course YouTube is where you can find us. And Spotify is the other one now we're throwing into the mix. And obviously that is the platform of a lot of people's choice to listen and consume the Deep Drop podcast. But you can get involved now and use Spotify as a platform to comment and share your ideas and thoughts, because that's what we ask for. All 134 episodes, we're just asking for your feedback, your ideas, what you think. You don't have to agree with us. In fact, you probably shouldn't sometimes. And we love it. So thank you, everyone, for getting involved across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and, of course, Spotify. It's an absolute treat. And please, it's a safe space, Ads. We ask you to get involved.
Well, we lay the groundwork for what we think a conversation, what direction we think it should take. Doesn't normally take that direction,
no.
But that's why we need you. We need you to tell us, keep us on track, tell us if we're right or we're wrong, and we may agree, we may disagree, but it is a safe space.
Absolutely safe space.
And we need the feedback, Luke. We need it. We're after answers.
It's our drug, isn't it? It keeps us going. And I just want to shout out, speaking of feedback, new follower to the show, Mick, reached out on Instagram this week. And listen, we do get a lot of messages, so we don't normally go through too many because there are a lot. But I thought, as a new follower to the socials and listener, Mick goes, "Hey boys, only discovered the pod a few weeks back. Really enjoyed listening to you guys on my drive home from work." That's bloody awesome, Mick, by the way. Love it. I've got a lure storage tip for hard bodies for you, because obviously we've been talking a bit about storage being an issue. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Get some small dental elastic bands off eBay. They cost bugger all. Use them to join the two trebles together under the lure, and you can throw them in a tackle tray and they won't tangle up with your other lures.
Listen, it's a great idea, and I'm going to welcome you to the Deep Drop with some hard-hitting facts and truth. It's a great idea, and it will work. The problem is, every time us at the Deep Drop, and I hope I can speak for you, Luke, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but we would be happy to sit there all afternoon and meticulously put these tiny rubber bands over every single hard body we've got. The issue is, as soon as we use one, the rubber band's never going back on. And we're just going to end up where we started. Yeah,
no, I'm happy for you to speak to me in that instance, Ads, because I am very much, and I think I've been honest throughout the program to say that we get lazy when it comes to putting the lures back in the trays, Ads. So once they're out, packaging's gone, rubber band's gone, they're out. In fact, sometimes they don't make it back into the tray at all. They'll end up in just somewhere.
Snag.
Yeah.
Tree.
Often. So, no, but good on you, Mick, and that's what it's all about. Thanks for reaching out and getting in touch, because we did share our frustrations with tackle storage last week. The website, the deepdrop.au, is the other place you can get involved and get in touch, of course. That is the place where all the podcasts live, with all the descriptions about them and information about us. And, of course, Adam, some merchandise.
The combo. The combo. I'm pretty sure I saw on socials that someone reached out and said that they would vote at AFTA for the combo being entered into the awards. And I'm, of course, talking about the hat and stubby holder combo. No rods and reels here. We don't need that. We stick with the real stuff. Nope, hat and stubby holder. So hat, it's the greatest hat of all time. Luke, you and I are both sporting one this evening, which I think is very appropriate for what we're doing. Beautifully comfortable, covers the hair up, but it's suitable for all occasions, and we've been through it. Whether you're fishing, whether you're going to the pub, birthday party, first birthday, 90th birthday, funeral. I didn't mean to put them together, or did I? It's just suitable for all occasions. So rock the cap, because you will be getting free entry to everywhere you go, and just keep that green stubby holder in your back pocket, because the second you get a drink, drop it into that stubby holder, and it instantly becomes the best sip you've ever had in your life. Whether it's sunny, whether it's raining, whether it's bitterly cold or boiling hot, the green stubby holder is going to keep your beverage of choice at the optimal temperature for the entirety of that can or stubby.
Amazing. Amazingly said. Your painkillers have kicked in beautifully, Ads, because you're on fire at the moment. Keep it coming. But, mate, well said. And the deepdrop.au is where you can get your hands on the combo. We'll cover the freight, so just place an order and we'll ship that bad boy straight out to you. Speaking of all things stubby holder and drink, I think it's time that we just tip into drink of the week real quick before we crack into what we're going to talk about tonight. And I've kept with the Queensland theme as I have for the last few weeks, but tonight I rock a 4X Gold.
Oh, the 4X hits close to home. You and I we've celebrated many a first fish with a 4X. Listen to that sound.
Did you hear that? Had the little bit of steam coming out of it or whatever it is.
Solid.
So cheers, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We don't expect you to raise a beer and have a sip if you're on your way to work, of course, but Mick on the way home perhaps might stop in at a bottle-o and just grab a couple of frothies on the way through.
Why not have the stubby holder in the car, because I guarantee it'll keep it freezing cold until you get home, because, of course, we don't condone opening a can or a stubby while you're behind the wheel.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I can probably only assume you're not having a beer tonight.
You'd be assuming, right? I've had a staple diet of painkillers over the last 7 days, so I'll be nestling in nice cold water this evening, Luke,
fair,
because
fair.
I plan on getting through the rest of this pod.
No, fair enough. Well, good on you. You've done well so far. About 10 minutes in. We'll get there. We might have to wrap it up. This might be the quickest episode of all time. No, good on you. Well, that's good. Well, we're ready to rock and roll, so let's dive in. But obviously, and there's probably not a hell of a lot of fishing to talk about straight off the bat with you and I locally for two reasons. One is it's been blowing its ring out. Secondly, you have no legs at the moment. So it's probably put us on the back burner a little bit. I did get thinking though, and I hope you don't mind, and I know how eager you are to get back up and mobile, so I'm not going to try and it's not rubbing it in, but I wondered whether you could sit on a kayak anytime soon, or is that right out of the question?
I'm struggling to sit in a chair.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So, no, kayak's out of the question.
I suppose because you pedal too, don't you? So that's an issue. Yeah,
well, at the moment, I'm 7 days in, so it's a hell of a lot better than what it was when I first did it. I've got to the point where there is a very specific grabbing point in that hamstring. I'm okay above it and I'm okay below it. So pedaling would still be a little bit out of the question. But the other thing that's really killing me, Luke, and I have been thinking hard about a kayak upgrade.
Ooh, hello. This is interesting.
Not because of this.
No.
This will factor greatly, but the reason I was thinking this, and I want you to either talk me out of it or hold my hand and help me along. But
sure.
For those that don't know and haven't met me, I'm nearly 6'4". So sitting in a lot of kayaks can be
6'3" after this injury.
Have you seen the Simpsons episode where old mate is sitting in the car and his knees are tucked up around his ears?
Yes.
I need to be careful where I'm sitting in these kayaks.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the moment I'm rocking a Hobie Outback, and it's okay. I don't think I look. Okay,
no, you don't. No, you're okay. No, you look fine. You look fine.
Well, I'm considering going to some sort of PA.
What's that?
Some sort of pro angler.
Oh, okay.
Sticking with Hobie, I'll never change.
Yeah. No, you're a big fan, and you spend a lot of your time in a kayak.
Huge fan, but I'm thinking of just going a little bit bigger to maybe.
So, hang on. Let's just go back a step. How big is the kayak you're in now?
Big enough.
Yeah. Okay. but this is the one you're talking about is the next step up as far as size and
so
width
everything
as well?
changes. Yeah, everything changes.
Length and girth.
Length and girth. I've decided to, mate. It turns out size matters, Luke. Who would have thought? And I'm thinking about overcompensating for something in life and going a bigger kayak.
Okay.
But there's one thing that's really stopping me.
Yeah.
It's the weight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which is interesting because your current kayak would still be a fair bit of weight in that too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's still heavy, and I've got the system to get it onto the roof of the car. I've got that down, right?
Yep.
I'm worried that the PA is just way too heavy, even for that.
Really?
Yeah. And
so it's considerably heavier then?
Yeah, it's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy.
Fuck.
And there's one thing I refuse to do. Now,
what?
Please tell me I'm an idiot, or tell me if I need to change my ways. Kayaks on trailers.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there, and I'm interested about this as a topic because I saw one the other day. And I don't know how I feel
what's
about
the, what's the first What's the first thing that went through your mind?
Pop it on the roof, mate.
Yeah. And this is exactly what's stopping me, holding me back. I can't do a kayak on a trailer. I think it just defeats the purpose of having a kayak. Would you agree with that?
I get what you're saying, yeah, because it's kind of the kayak thing is more than just the kayak itself, isn't it? It's the mobility of being able to,
chuck it in wherever.
Chuck it in wherever.
Yeah.
If you're towing it in a kayak, in a trailer, all of a sudden you
got to go to a boat ramp like everybody
else.
else.
Well, yeah, your backcountry sort of explorations and that are kind of out the window. Well, maybe not if you, but
maybe not, but just don't know. I think I need my kayak on the roof. So please, the people out there, help me here.
Yeah. Okay.
If I was to get a pro angler and want to put it on the roof, how am I getting it on there?
Okay, good question.
Because at the moment, I'm using, it's kind of like an extension from Rhino Rack that it extends out from your actual roof rack.
It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple setup, which is
and it makes
awesome.
life so much easier.
But really you're saying that the pro angler would be too much for this? Too heavy or big? Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it. I've never even been in a pro angler. I've had Outbacks my whole life. I've had a few of them over the years.
So we kind of alluded to this off the top, and anyone new here, this is what we do. So this is where real talk for a minute. Quite often, Adam and I have genuine questions that we just want to know. So we bring it to the show to ask you guys, the community, the Deep Drop community, because, mate, I don't know about you, Ads, but 130 odd episodes in, I've learnt so much from the community. Genuinely. So what's the answer for a big fucking kayak? And is the answer a trailer?
I so hope.
I think there'll be a rooftop option. So you just need to know basically what that option is.
Yeah.
Maybe the question initially is, or the follow up question is, kayak on a trailer, yay or no?
Yes. So that's part one.
Okay.
Yeah, part one. So part two, Luke, is what are my options if paddling with a paddle, as in using my arms, is not an option? Because it's also something I've worked out in my kayaking journey. My very first kayak was a paddle kayak, not a pedal kayak.
Yeah. And
it's the worst.
Yeah, look, as you know, I do have a paddle kayak that it's lightweight. I can throw it on the roof with ease, jump in the car and be on the water fishing in sort of 10 minutes-ish from my house, as you've witnessed as well. But it's got its downfalls. It's got its cons, as you're about to allude to. So I'm in the middle of contemplating whether I just need to take the next step and get myself onto some pedals.
Well, the biggest issue for me in a paddle kayak is not what you think it would be.
Oh, because I'm thinking fishing. I'm thinking keeping it up with the tide and current and holding yourself in the right position and all that. That's not your issue?
No, and it's a very valid issue that you bring up, and it's a close second. But the biggest issue for me in a paddle kayak is that all of my sustained strength and power comes from my legs, or it did up until 7 days ago.
Right.
When it comes to trying to use my upper body to paddle, fuck that.
Right.
Within 30 seconds, I'm soaring over it.
Yeah, okay. Good workout.
It's a great workout, and I'd rather do something else.
Fair enough. Do you know what I'm learning? And I know, we've known each other for a long time, Ads, and I know you very well. We know a lot about each other. But what I've learned over the Deep Drop journey so far is just, I guess I'm making a list of things that you can cross off when it comes to Adam ring fishing. Beach fishing, put a line through it. Beach fishing at night, put 2 lines through it.
Correct.
So now it's kayak with a paddle, put a line through it. Now, in fact, I'm sure there's others in there too, but okay, just forget about it. He's not going.
I know what I like.
We've got Queenies in Port Phillip Bay. Your only option is to grab the paddle kayak.
Have fun catching them. Have fun catching them.
Wow. So that's why I put that scenario out there, because I thought that's going to define whether or not you're interested. No, you're just flat out no.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough, and it's not for everyone. There's multiple reasons I don't. I mean, your time on the water is short-lived with the paddle kayak, as in sessions. They're just because you're just worn out. You get sick of ads. Why the fuck? This is. I don't want to sidetrack too much, right? This does my head in, right? And I reckon I've spoken to you and vented to you on the phone about this. The last few sessions I've been out, I've just wanted to set up a squid drift and a whiting drift and just go dong a couple and come home. Why every time that I reset my drift do I drift at a different fucking angle? Why does that happen?
It's the wonderful world of kayaking, my friend, and it will happen whether you're in a paddle or a pedal kayak. It's no different in a...
Yeah, but at least with a pedal one, it's easier just to quickly shift yourself back onto the right line.
And you can, to an extent, you can control your drift because you've got a controllable rudder.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
And not just a controllable rudder, one that actually works. Because I've also been... that the paddle kayak that I had a rudder. It may as well not have, because I don't think it was doing anything.
How did you use it? With your feet?
Yes. So it'd connect with two, I guess, not really ropes, but somewhere between a rope and a string that goes through the actual thing, and you just use the top bits of the foot rests to control it, and it was shit.
Interesting.
Did nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, noted. I think I've just got to make the leap of faith. But then it's like back to your original point. The paddle kayak. One of the things I love about it is I literally can just pick it up and throw it on the roof. Like I don't even need the
and it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate pro.
Yeah,
and it kind of, and it's a massive part of it, because if you do, the one thing I will say about having pedal kayaks, you convince yourself that when you buy one, that everything's going to be really easy and everything's going to be really quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
No. Okay.
because you get these big, beautiful kayaks, and you can do whatever you want in them. World's your oyster.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you've got more options, you tend to take more shit. So
true.
You just find ways of making it too hard.
Yeah. Fuck, we overcomplicate it, don't we?
We do.
And when I say
massively.
you and I especially.
It's what we do.
Do you ever go... Because there's times where you do, though. You have to stop and stand back and go, do I need all that?
Well, the big one for me is the sounder. So I have a sounder on my kayak. If I'm just cruising and say I put in a river somewhere, whether it be the narrow arm at Tyres, whether it be up at Bem, I don't need the sounder at all.
But you take it and hook it up?
But you take it.
Mm. Why?
Because I'm just snag hopping. I don't...
No, but why do you take it at all?
Well, I shouldn't. But you're like, well, I've got it.
Yeah.
So I may as well use it. Like, what if I sound something in the middle of the river? Do you know how many times that's happened?
None.
Hasn't?
No. And I don't think I'd take one, again, where I'll duck out for a feed of squid or whiting or flathead in the bay. I don't think I'd take it. Because I don't need it. I can look at the depth. It's pretty clear water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're right. If I had one, I'd probably hook it up and spend 10 minutes every fucking time trying to get it set up.
And all of these things, it's not hard to set them up. It just takes time.
Yeah. You get yourself in a rhythm, I'm assuming, too. Like, once you've had it for a while, you know, it's like a boat, I suppose, with launching and retrieving a boat.
Yeah.
Once you've done it a few times, you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just...
All right, well, I think you need to know... Yeah, you need to know about kayaks on a trailer. Or we want to know how everyone feels about it. And tell us, if you are a trailer tower of kayak, why, and not... I'm not taking the piss. Why, and what are the pros and cons of a trailer?
Yeah,
because to be honest,
definitely, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. It's more, I like the mobility of the kayak, which means even driving without worrying about a fucking trailer or doing any of that shit. Just the roof, off you go.
So two observations from the other day for me. I saw a kayak being towed on a trailer. You wouldn't be able to see it.
No.
For starters, this thing was narrower in the car, and I actually thought there was some legalities around that. Anyway, so that causes a bit of anxiety in the car as you're driving around. Anyway, the other thing, and this is completely unrelated to the kayak, the trailer, or anything, but I'm going to bring it up because this person had this happening. So anyone with a boat or kayak, and I see it a lot, you would too, and I can't handle it. Leaving a rod set up, standing upright with a lure or a rig still connected to the tip.
Don't do that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, don't do that. So
this particular person had the rods standing vertically upright in a kayak. I can only hope they're strapped down. This is on the road. This is driving with a squid jig on a centimetre off the tip of the rod. Like that rod tip, I would be very surprised if it didn't snap before this person got home.
And from someone who sells fishing rods for a living, no warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard no.
It's a hard no. But what are you doing? Yeah. That's unnecessary. Like, come on. The game boats, the big 6 metre plus boats that you see with the Tiagras and game rods in rod holders as you're driving down the freeway, what are you doing? No, it's not fine. Put them on the floor of the boat, wrap them up. Come on, what are we doing?
So, okay, as someone who's never owned a boat or never owned a boat that you can put rod holders in, let's take the game boat or like a big boat that's got combing racks that are set quite low on the gunnels. Why wouldn't you leave them?
No. I'm not talking about combing. I'm talking about gunnel rod holders.
Oh, people are driving around with them in that.
It's like they're trolling the freeway.
Mate, that's fucked. I hope they lose them.
I'd pull over and grab it.
Yeah, but I hope they lose them. I hope they lose them on the side that's not on oncoming traffic.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
On the bank side.
What are you doing?
That's stupid.
Combing racks, I'd be. Maybe I'm a bit. I don't know, weird in particular, but just don't have them standing up. Like, I just think there's so many things that could go wrong. No one wants to break a rod, regardless of, if they're really high-end, flashy, expensive rods or not. Doesn't matter. No one wants to snap a rod tip or break a rod in half with a stray fucking seagull that flies past.
I have seen many a Tiagra over the years working in the shop where the side plates are just scratched to the shit house because they've left them in the combing racks.
Yeah, okay. And they rub against each other.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, there you go.
The one thing I can't handle though, please, if you do have a big boat, I don't mind the combing rack thing. I get it.
I can handle that. Just
don't leave them in the rocket launchers.
Don't leave me in the rocket launcher ones. You know, I did. That. Yeah, I did it once accidentally coming out of Paddo, and luckily I only had one rod in it, and I don't know why it was in there because I never ever leave rods in there. All the rods lay on the floor, and I didn't even. That was the time I was living over that side of the bay. Didn't have that far to get home, but I always would just put them on the floor. And I don't know why, but I left it in there and happened to go past a low-hanging tree and got home and it was a 3-piece rod. Yeah. And served me right. I'm not okay with that. Anyway, I sidetracked a little bit. But the second part of that is putting a heavy kayak onto a roof.
Onto the roof, yeah. Let me know. I need some
solutions.
Know. Yeah, I need to know. What's your go-to to get it on there? Clearly my body's falling apart, so I need to look after it.
Has there been any sort of motorised type, sort of lifting type things that you can actually, put it on and it does all the work for you?
Sure.
We're sounding really old, aren't we?
But surely we are. And
like
I'll take it.
A hydraulic sort of kayak lift is
There's got to be something out there, doesn't there?
Maybe you can kind of wheel it. Yeah, maybe you can kind of wheel it onto whether it's the back of your car or probably the side of your car. Maybe, I don't know, and it just kind of.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make that noise. That was just an example. Yeah, maybe it does. It's got to be something, and if not, hey, business opportunity.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
I'd try. I'd try it out for you.
That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, that takes everything out. All you have to do is put it onto a. Whatever the platform is, I'm assuming at ground level or at knee height, let's be honest. You can handle that.
Chuck it on, strap it up.
Press a button.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something in that maybe camping / rooftopper world that...
Touring's as big as it's ever been, ads. Rooftop tents,
There's There's got to be there's got to be something.
Okay, let's let us know if anyone out there in the community has heard or has seen something that's similar to what we're talking about. If you've just manufactured something yourself just for your own use, like let us know. Like, you know,
yeah, I'm keen because it's the only thing holding me back from upgrading.
That and hamstring,
yeah. That fuck. Turns out you need them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I think we could be honest. I hope there is something that'd be good. So let's hear it. All right. Well, beautiful. Hey, I've got a question for you tonight, Ads, and the community. And I don't think we've tackled this for some reason. I don't think we've tackled it. And I want to set it up with a bit of a story because I was away recently up the top end of Australia and managed to catch some good fish, queen fish we spoke about, and some smaller GTs. And I hooked what turned out to be a GT at one stage. Fought it, was really dogging it, slogging it out type thing, and got it boat side and realised I'd more or less hooked it in the arse. So I don't know how. Well, this is my question. Foul hooked, does it still count?
Still counts.
Just across the board? You're just saying a general rule of thumb is a foul hooked fish still counts?
I struggle to hook a fish in the mouth. If you can hook it anywhere else on its body, you deserve to keep it.
Can I ask if you sometimes, because this is just me, I'm just speaking openly, sometimes you'll get the fish, to the surface and you'll see that you've foul hooked it, and you sort of go, oh, I don't know, there's something in me that goes, oh.
There's no. I'll agree with that. The first thought you have is it doesn't count. But
yeah,
let me come at you with it from a different angle.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think when you foul hook something, do you think that it is tried to eat it and just fucked it up?
That's what I tell myself.
Or do you think somehow you've managed to put a lure somewhere in the vicinity of a fish that when you jig it, it jags it?
I think two things. I tell myself that I've foul hooked it, but it was having a crack at the lure.
How else is it going to get hit?
How else is it going to get hit?
Yeah.
I can confidently say, because I did this GT in question, I did see it went my lure. So it was attacking it, right? It was just obviously a stupid fish. But there is part of you that goes, surely I didn't just bring that lure past where this fish happened to be sitting and have just fucking pinned it.
Surely, because if you did, that kind of needs props. So you may as well get the capture. Because how can you, without seeing what's going on, put a lure so close to a fish that it doesn't spook?
Yeah.
Because I can put a lure within 3 foot of something that spooks.
Yeah.
Let alone work it enough. Or do you give yourself a nice little, tip of the cap?
Tip your own cap.
That the action you've put on the lure is so realistic that the stupid fish didn't even move. And it is probably wondering, why is this bait fish swimming into the side of me?
Well, I think and why did you just stab me with something? I think you touched on something there. I think that the initial feeling of disappointment when you realise it's a foul hooked fish is that you haven't been rewarded for working your lure and imitating the bait, or tricking the fish into eating your lure. But then again, maybe your point there, it's so realistic that the fish are going, hey mate, and then doosh, oh shit,
just punch me.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know? Yeah, I'm just curious to know what you and the community think about a foul hooked fish. Does it count? At the end of the day, you take it, but
because my first reaction when I see one foul hooked, whether it's in the back, whether it's in the arse, you just go, Because the thing is, when you hook them in the side or you hook them in the back where that kind of normally happens, it's always around the tail or it's in the side. They fight hard as hell.
Hard, and they're heavy.
Yeah, because obviously you've got a lot more drag. But
so it's a disappointment that your reaction you just explained there is I get that for sure, because you're fighting it, you're going. But then I always think though, well, not always, but for the most part, there's a point as it's probably a minute or so away from being landed, you just go, oh,
Something's
I think
off.
something's not right here.
So what about this? Say you went for a perch fish tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a PB.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hooked in the tail. Are you telling anyone?
I think I'm too honest. I think
No, as in not tell anyone that you didn't catch it, but would you tell them it was foul hooked?
That's what I mean. I think I don't know. I'm okay with it.
Would you count it though? Like in
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I need guidance on this because
everyone's got their own little memory bank of PBs of everything they've caught along the way.
Will it have an asterisk next to it?
Would you count it? In your not to anyone out in the public, not on this podcast, just in your own brain.
Yeah,
would that be logged in as your PB now is whatever that was?
I think I would, and I'm just being honest.
I would.
I think I would. And the thing is, the reality is, you haven't. It's not like you've netted it or you've found it floating and you've grabbed it and taken a photo. You've still caught it with a rod and reel.
Yeah, that's right. And you haven't
jagged
just put,
it. You haven't.
Correct. You haven't just put on a ball sinker and a treble and just tried.
You're gonna say. We know people that have done that.
I've seen it done. I've seen it done, and I've seen it done with people that I haven't been fishing with. And it's shocking to see.
It's jarring. Yeah.
It's actually quite shocking to see, and I don't condone it because it looks horrible. It's not a great way to go fishing. But
yeah. So I mean, okay. You and I, I think I can speak confidently on this that you haven't cracked a meter barra in general. No,
otherwise I'd have one ticked on my bloody...
No, I don't mean this year. I mean ever.
No, I haven't.
So meter barra, meter cod. You happen to... You go back up to Mondrian.
Yeah.
Your first meter barra is hooked in the pectoral fin. For starters, that's a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you feel about it?
I would be definitely not satisfied.
Yeah.
I would be 100% telling everybody I know. And it would go on this podcast immediately.
Yeah.
That I'd caught a meter barra. And I would tell everyone that it was hooked in... I would ask for the community's guidance on it.
Okay. So you'd open up to the community. You'd open up to the community. Yeah.
I wouldn't be ashamed of it because it's not like I purposely foul hooked the bloody thing. But it would...
No, exactly,
Until I caught one in the mouth, it would always have an asterisk in the back of my brain. But I would still be recording, I've caught a meter barra. Technically,
I'm
I've caught a meter barra.
assuming in a tournament, it'd still count?
I don't know. Oh, that's a great question.
I'd love to know in the US bass tournaments or the Australian barra and...
So anyone in the community that fishes the brim tournaments or the bass tournaments or any of that sort of stuff, can we get a clarification on the ruling of if you foul hook a brim, if you get that pluck and you bury the hook and you bring it up sideways because you've hooked it in the side,
in the eyeball or something,
is it legal?
If you are confident that a cod you got in the Mulwhaler Classic could be the winning fish, are you telling anyone? You've jagged it in the ass. You're not telling anyone.
I've never been so conflicted in trying to answer a question.
Oh.
Normally, I'm fairly definitive on what I think. Oh,
that's right. That's tough because it's cash involved, right?
Yeah, you'd have to say something, wouldn't you?
Let's be clear. You haven't done
anything illegal to get that capture. Whether you're trolling or whether you're having a cast around and you're swim baiting or you're spinner baiting, whatever you're doing, you just happen to...
Like you haven't seen it and you've sort of, done the ball sinker and treble thing. You haven't netted it. You haven't... No,
everything 100% legit about the way that you caught it. Yep.
But it's just flipped its tail on the lure or something and
you've just given it a second arsehole.
It's an interesting mental sort of state.
I actually don't know the legalities around competition.
No.
Do you reckon? I don't reckon it would count. I think you'd have to...
I don't know how often
wouldn't
cod
know.
and barra would get foul hooked anyway. Certainly cod. I don't reckon it would happen too much, would it?
Nah, you wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought so. We'll find out. Want a massive shout out to our good friend of the show, Kate Norman Ads. Kate wrapped up the cod comp that was up at Eildon last week, I think it was. Finished, I think, second place, but 5 or 6 fish over a metre ads for the comp.
It's big time.
And listen, shout out to everyone. We, I think anyone listening will know that we love learning about the cod stuff and getting mastered. We're certainly not across it. So everyone that fished that tournament and caught some fish, massive shout out and props to you, because it's pretty awesome. But the amount of metre plus fish was phenomenal, and fair chunk of them were out of Kate's boat, in fairness. But wow, what a fishery! And
yeah. Crazy. And
But
we're just coming into peak time now.
I'm going to text Kate. I'm going to ask if how often a foul.
Have you ever foul hooked a cod?
A cod, yeah. Also, shout out. She is very keen to get me out on the water, knowing how much I will hate fishing in the middle of winter, in the middle of the night.
Document the hell out of that for me.
She's very she's at me. So I'm going to have a crack, and there's no one better to do it with. Let's be honest.
Yeah, do it.
Absolute gun on that piece of water with those fish. I have no idea what I'm doing out there, and I will be complaining and moaning like a little cat the whole time. So anyway, watch this space. It's going to happen at some stage. So yeah, okay. So foul hooked fish. Just as a general comment, Adam, does a foul hooked fish count? You're saying
yes, with an asterisk. I think you need to be open that you foul. Say you got a PB foul hooked. I think you need to claim the PB, but I think you need to
own it. You got to own it.
You got to own it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think anyone will say, "Well, it doesn't." Like, yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna open it up to the community. Does a foul hooked fish count? Give us some backstory on why you think yes or no.
Yep.
And we're going to find out a bit more about the tournament scene.
Yeah, if it's illegal. And we're not talking about anything illegal as far as fishing goes. You're just You're just dragging a lure and you manage to hook a fish in the tail or in the back or something like that. And you claim it.
It's phenomenal how many times you get a fish and it's hooked in the eyeball.
Yeah, it's rough.
They're just having a real close look at the lure, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
I'm feeling your pain at the moment.
No.
You're moving. Do you need to stretch out? Do you need to stand up and have a stretch?
No, I'm good. I
can pad. I can pad for a bit.
It's just everything's not working for me. My back's
No,
killing.
it's not. So let's, without further ado, let's get straight into the top 6 ads and round this thing out, because you are hurting and I'm feeling for you, brother. So let's do this.
The deep drop.
Top 6. That's a big statement right there. You know, it's not a big statement, is doing your hamstring. That's not a statement. That is just something that no one wants to happen. And ads, we love your effort tonight and jumping on. I've never seen you so
I can't sit still. No, I can't sit still. Everything needs to move.
All right. Well, if we're ripping in. Let's get this done. Ads, we love a snack. We've spoken about boat snacks, fishing snacks at length throughout the journey of the podcast, and they come in all shapes and sizes. But today, for the top 6, we're going to be fairly specific. But all I can say is tonight, we're going to do the top 6, not chips.
Okay.
So what the hell does that mean, Adam?
Okay, so we're going anything that isn't like a Smith's crinkle cut or a
crisp.
Yeah, a crisp.
So we're talking about a bag of
fringe chips.
Yeah, a bag of goodness that's not quite a crisp, but it's kind of classed in the same category.
Yeah,
I think you'll understand when we rip in here. Now, I have no idea. That's all we said in the preparation for this show. So I actually don't know where you're sort of positioned on this, but I've certainly got a pretty definitive angle on it.
I'm actually keen to see if one of mine will count.
Interesting, because I've got a couple of fringe ones that I'm leaving. I'm happily leaving them off, but if we need to wedge them in, I can, and we can discuss that at the time. So Ads, I'm happy to kick off if you'd like.
Yeah, go, please.
So, for the top 6 not chips, number 1, burger rings.
Yeah, nice. Solid. Solid.
I mean, it stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brad Sullivan, a good friend of mine who I work closely with, had a bag today at work and just easily recognisable.
So what was your reaction when you saw a bag of burger rings get opened up in the workplace? Because it's not something you see often.
It's not, you know what it did, Ads? It brought a smile to my face.
Yeah, I like it.
You know, that's that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It. Okay, burger rings is a cracker. It's good. Number 2, cheese and bacon balls.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay.
My kids froth on these things, and I must admit, as a junior burger growing up, I didn't really get around them as much as what I probably should. But I noticed an open bag on the bench top just the other week, pinched a couple. Pretty sure the kids never saw the bag again.
Now, can I ask, is this the Cheetos variety?
Cheetos,
or is
correct.
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Okay, so let's be
Cheetos.
clear on that. It's Cheetos, cheese and bacon balls. Okay, good.
Yep.
Because, I think we need to make sure we're being specific, Adam. This is a very serious conversation.
No, I'm glad you clarified because there's no room for imitations when it comes to the top 6.
Okay. All right, good. Now, I don't know where you're going to sit with this one because I'll explain, but there's a couple of options in what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But for me, there's one clear winner. Number 3, chicken twisties.
Not chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. So chicken, the chicken twisty over the cheese twisty.
I can put my hand up comfortably and confidently and sleep well at night knowing that I choose chicken twisties over cheese twisties.
Listen, it's a controversial take, but it's one that I'm not going to push back on.
No,
I don't mind a chicken twisty.
Okay, good. But you can push back. Everyone can. That's what it's all about. But that's, for me, the number 1 twisty.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it above cheese. And now
I'd like to see the sales data on that.
Yeah,
cheese. You think cheese would be?
Yeah, I think cheese would be way up. But I do want to also acknowledge that, Luke, we're a bit old school when it comes to this. There's only chicken and cheese. So
what do you mean? Is there actual new ones?
Well, there's all the. I don't know but all of them. There's all like.
Oh yeah. You
know what I mean?
New variations of flavors and shit.
Fuck all
No.
that.
We're going. No.
Yeah, we're going with the OGs.
We're 90s kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, chicken twisty. I wouldn't have picked it, but I don't hate it. Right.
Good.
Number 4, Cheezels.
Yes.
Cheezels are one of those ones that you see them in the supermarket aisles every time you go and you go, oh, not sure. And then someone brings some at some point and you have one, you're like, oh, I remember how good Cheezels are.
Yeah.
And your fingers get left orange. There's orange everywhere. And it's just a glorious time.
There's Cheezle dust on your chest and that's okay.
That's okay.
It's a box that's plain. It's blue.
Yep.
With a big picture of a Cheezle, and that's all it needs to be.
And you know exactly what it is, and you know what's in it, and you know that it's freaking awesome.
So it's a credit to the production team, the product team there at Cheezle HQ, wherever it comes from, because they've kept it simple and they haven't changed the recipe in 100 years. I don't know.
And don't ever change it.
No. So Cheezels, number 4. Such a, Also, don't ask what's in these because no one will ever know. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, we're not.
I don't want to know what's in a burger ring.
No, exactly. I don't want to know if a burger ring that I ate in grade 6 is still trying to digest. I don't care. It was good at the time.
I reckon it probably is. It's probably still in there.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm happy with that. I'm okay with it.
All right. Now, I've got this is really throwing it back and only have good memories about this. Number 5, tubes.
Tubes?
So, yeah. So it's your cheese. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Is it a rip-off Cheezle?
Yes, absolutely. Everything about it. Different flavour,
Different texture?
Same shape.
Yeah.
So it's your cheesel shape. I don't even know what the flavour is. But
It doesn't matter.
It's not a cheesy cloud of goodness like a cheesel is, but it's just a nice not chip, you know?
A very good friend of mine who I went to school with, Dennis, shout out to you. He's the tubes master. Loves it.
Really?
Oh, I loves them.
And they're still available.
Still available.
As I was making my list today, I quickly jumped online. They're $4 at Woolworths. I'm definitely getting a box tomorrow.
Tubes.
Tubes.
Nice. I didn't think it'd feature. I like it.
Good on your tube.
All right. To round it out. Number 6. Pringles?
Hang on.
Is it too close?
It's a chip, isn't it?
What is it?
I don't know. I mean, unique packaging. You don't see chips packaged in a tube like that.
No.
Maybe. I suppose they're not a crisp, are they? Like they're a... I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. All I know is that they're freaking awesome.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Can't stop. And it's a legit slogan. Like, it's true.
No, it's not. Absolutely. There's never been a truer slogan written.
Yep. It's not just a
let's
gimmick.
Let's allow it. Did you have a flavour? Particular flavour?
Original.
Blue. The blue tube?
No, red tube is original.
Oh, red tube.
Yeah, red tube original. Doesn't
matter. Doesn't matter. We're just calling it out as Pringles. So it doesn't. Yeah.
Pringles.
Okay. And look, that might be controversial. If you've got an issue with it out there listening, let us know. That's okay.
Yeah, let us know. I'm happy to sub. It's very close. I'm happy to sub one in.
Very borderline.
Yeah, I'm happy to sub one.
Well, I think I've got a couple of honourable mentions, so maybe we can add it in that. But let's leave it in there as number 6. Let's leave it. Okay. Let's leave it. Yeah, and just to recap before we go through some honourable mentions, this is a list that I can't fault. Not chips. Top 6 not chips. Number 1, burger rings. Number 2, Cheetos cheese and bacon balls. Not to be mistaken by the Cheetos puffs, which were the longer sort of cheese puffs. Yeah,
they're also good.
They're also good. Of course. Chicken twisties as opposed to just cheese. I've gone with chicken. By the way, nothing wrong with cheese twisties, but I just would prefer chicken. Number 4, cheesels. Solid. Number 5, tubes.
Yes.
And I think you've got to say it like that. Tubes. It's not tubes.
No, it's tubes.
It's tubes.
Tubes. Yeah.
Like boobs with a T.
Correct.
Yeah. Number 6, Pringles. Controversial, but it's in there.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm happy. It's a solid 6. Listen, I think chicken twisties might be the most controversial, unless you're trying to claim that Pringles is not a chip.
Well, if we really want to dive into it, on my list originally was Cheetos Puffs. So, if you and I were making this list again, I'd go puffs instead of balls. You'd go cheese instead of chicken for twisties. And that's okay.
That's okay.
Geez, that's a good list. So, honourable mentions, ads. I just wanted to call out, firstly, there might be some people out there going, well, hang on a minute. You guys bang on about barbecue shapes every episode. Why aren't they in there? Because they're too good for any list is the answer.
Yeah, correct. It's an automatic number 1, and we wanted to give something else a shout out.
Exactly. That's not fair to the one that misses out. Yeah. But I also had French fries.
Yes, solid. I had that on my honourable mentions too. Yep, and they're the most frustrating thing you'll ever eat in your life. Because you just want to eat them by the handful, but they always go fucking everywhere and stab you in the face.
Do you have a few and then just do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
drink them. Yeah, drink them.
God, I'm glad we're not live on air because that action I just did was pretty confronting. The one I had here that I want to give an honourable mention that I thought could have been controversial, but after hearing Pringles ads, it could have been on the list, and that is grain waves.
Yeah, okay. No, I would have accepted it. Oh, yeah. I'm not much.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the reaction I sort of had too. I'm like, yeah. So I left it out.
And I don't know how much of a fan of grain waves I am.
I like a sour cream. What's it called? Sour cream and chive or something? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a good snack.
Might grab a pack.
Anyway.
When I can drive again.
Yeah, I'll send you some. I'll post you some.
Yeah, nice.
What do you got? Have you got many honourables, or is that sort of...
No, I think we covered. It was mainly
Yeah.
a flavour profile. But yeah, definitely not offended by anything that's on the list.
Man, that's pretty solid. French fries is a good one. I do think that deserves a spot, but that's okay. Let us know what you think. What have we missed? What have we put in there that you don't agree with at all? Where do you sit with the twisty conversation?
Yep. Is Pringles a chip or is it not a chip?
Is Pringles a chip, crisp, biscuit, otherwise?
Yeah, send us your thoughts.
Yeah. Do you know what all these things have in common, ads? And I know you can get packets and stuff. They all come in a solid box if you want to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
or
right.
in the Pringles case, a solid sort of tube.
A tube, not a tube.
A tube, not a tube.
Tube, yeah.
Fuck, that's a good sick. That could be me for the weekend. Just one of each.
It's all on
And
the
the
shopping
footy.
list. It's all on the shopping list.
All right, I love it. Ads, I'm going to let you go because, for God's sake,
need
you
to
need to
move
go
or
and lie
something.
down and have some more painkillers. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a week for Ads, but we appreciate your time and effort on this particular program, Adam. Hey, we're going to see everyone real soon and get amongst it on social media. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify is where you can find us. And, of course, the deepdrop.au for the best combo in the world. Adam, see you soon, pal.
Peace.